course. So we go to chapter 12, right? Brother Kai, can you read? Let's start with verse 1.
Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant.
All right. So this chapter was dealing with what? Spiritual gifts, right? And he's saying what? I don't want y'all ignorant of spiritual gifts, showing that what? There must have been some ignorance surrounding it. Okay. There must be some things that they did not know or fully understand regarding spiritual gifts. Okay. Jump down to verse 4.
Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit.
I want you to know it's a lot of different gifts that come, right? But it's from the same Spirit. So when we talk about the Holy Spirit, it has many gifts that can come from it. Okay, it's not just one gift. There's many gifts that can come from it. Read 5 and 6.
And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of operation, but it is the same God which worketh all in all.
And God is working in all those gifts and all those administrations, even though they differ one from another. Okay, verse 7.
But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal.
So the manifestation of the Spirit is given to do what? Profit withal, to profit, to help others. All right. That's the point of the gifts, is to help others. Some people are ignorant of spiritual gifts. Some people thinking this spiritual gift was for me and for my, no. This gift, what? That we're getting from the Spirit is to help others. Because this is what this thing is about, saving and helping others. Okay. So he's saying this is something we need to understand, beloved. We don't need to be ignorant of it. So we got certain gifts. We thank the Most High, but also you need to understand he gave me this gift for a purpose, not just for me to sit on it, but me to work this gift for the edification of the kingdom. All right. Let's name some of the gifts. Give me 8 and 9.
But to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit.
Okay. And read verse 10 as well.
To another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another divers kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues.
Okay. So these are some of the gifts. He's actually breaking them out and being specific with them. These are gifts that can come from the Spirit. Okay. One is not greater than the other. All right. They get from the Spirit, all in the same, have the same respect and response that when we get it and receive from it. Okay. So when we're looking at this, is also showing the diversity that comes with it. All right. And also when we look at these things supposed to help with all. And that's very important when we're looking at spiritual gifts. A lot of us take it and think it's selfish with it, but it's supposed to be selfless, right? It's about helping others with these gifts. So once again, we understand, the healing, the miracle, the prophecy, the discerning of spirits, right? Tongues, right? The tongues is just languages. The interpretation of tongues or interpretation of languages. All these things are different gifts that are appropriate for its time when the Most High want to, manifest it. Okay. We're going to skip some of this. And then he started talking about the body as well, that the body, talking about, he used the analogy using our physical body, how it have different members, right? Different parts, right? Different parts make it a body, okay? We're not going to all be the same body, as in body part, right? It ain't going to be 100 arms in a congregation because that's not a body, all right? A body is made up of different members. So the same thing, the Spirit, this is why there's different gifts. These things so we can collectively be a body of God. Okay. So you're not going to have a church where everybody's healing or everybody, it's going to be diversity in it. This is how the Most High builds it up. Okay. This is what Paul is bringing out. Go down to, let's start from 28 and read it out.
And God hath set some in the church, first apostles, secondary prophets, thirdly teachers, After that, miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversities of tongues.
Mm-hmm.
Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles?
Nope.
Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret?
So he's laying this thing down for us, beloved, because some people thought about what? One gift. All right. One gift is for all. All right. And he's letting you know, no, it's about not just one gift, but there's a diversity of gifts. Okay. And whether you receive one of these, it's all good. Okay. So you might look at your brother and sister, well, they got this gift, so I need to get that gift. No, he's saying he made it diverse one from another for a reason. Okay. So everybody's not going to be an apostle, even when it comes to offices. Everybody's not going to be an apostle. Everybody's not going to be a prophet. Everybody's not going to be a teacher. Everybody's not going to be a worker of miracles. Everybody's not going to do gifts of healings. Everybody's not going to speak in tongues. That's the doctrine. Everybody's not going to be able to interpret tongues. All right. But the Most High separated as he will. He gave these gifts out separately to everyone as he designed it fit. Okay. So you can't force the Most High as well to force you to get a gift. Well, Lord, I want to be a prophet, so you got to make me a prophet, right? That's not how it works, okay? Every gift he bestow upon you, you be appreciative and say, Lord, how can I use this gift for your will, okay? And that's what the focus should be. But everybody didn't know this. Everybody did not understand this, okay? Read verse 31.
But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
This is where he's about to go right into where we get into this next chapter. But covet earnestly the best gifts. Sorry, the best gifts. And he's saying what? I will show unto you a more excellent way. I'm going to show you something greater than what? Just desiring the best gifts for yourself. Okay. So now we will go to the next chapter. Did anybody have anything they wanted to share, even with chapter 12? I'm sorry. Did anybody want to share anything? Maybe something I went over and skipped over. Like, you want to make sure we make this part in there to put this included in there. Anything else you want to include in the review of chapter 12? Okay. So once again, he's saying this is about concerning spiritual gifts. That's verse 1, concerning spiritual gifts. So he's breaking it down. Okay. But then say stop there, because now he's about to show us a more excellent way. So let's go to chapter 13. I mean, 1 Corinthians. And now we're in chapter 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 13.
Though I speak with tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass, or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing.
Mm-hmm. So he's setting the stage for something, because what did he say in the last chapter, chapter 12? Yet show I unto you a more excellent way. Okay, I'm going to show you something better. I know y'all desire gifts. He do not want to destroy the aspect of desiring a spiritual gift, because he understands it's good. It's for the edification of others. But he's going to show us a more excellent way in the understanding of this. Okay. Because we had an ignorant way of looking at these spiritual gifts. We were being selfish with it and all those kind of things. So he's about to show us a more excellent way when it comes to the spiritual gifts. So he starts it off. Though I speak with tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I'm become as sounding brass or tinkling cymbal. So I'll just let you know, because some people go with Paul and say he knew all the languages of men, all languages of angels. That's not what this is. He's trying to convey here. Okay. He's not conveying that he has this ability. He's trying to convey, he's going to, sometimes I go to the very extreme, right? Because what was one of the biggest spiritual gifts at this time, beloved, that was happening? What's the big famous spiritual gift that's happening during this time? Throw it out to the class. During Paul's time, what was the big spiritual gift That was being manifested all over the place. Some chat. Okay, yes. So they have to put tongues, all right? The gift of tongues, all right? So people look at, you got these gift of tongues, that's the spirit, right? Because that's the context, definitely Acts 2, it went spread abroad. So everybody's hearing how the spirit came down and they're speaking in tongues, okay? Tongues is a gift of the spirit, absolutely, okay? So he said, though I speak with tongues of men and of angels, all right? I can speak in all those tongues. Don't think about just, I can speak in all of them, even with angels. He's saying what? And have not charity. I become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Okay? So he's saying it don't matter, okay, how much of the gift of tongues I have, whether I can speak all the languages of men, even angel languages that people want to put it. If I don't have charity, that doesn't matter. Once again, building off of the last verse in chapter 12, I'm going to show you a more excellent way. Because y'all want the gifts, but what do they have? They didn't have charity. So it don't matter about that if you don't have charity. So what if I can speak with tongues of men and angels? I don't have charity. It's like a what? Nothing. It's like a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Go to verse 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and this will help you when people argue about verse 1. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, beloved, do Paul understand all mysteries and all knowledge? We're going to see, because he's going to give the answer himself. Okay. But he's saying, what about I had the gift? He's saying, if I had the gift of prophecy, all right. What about I had prophecy? I can understand mystery. These are things that the gifts of the Spirit can give you. It can give you knowledge, give you the wisdom and those kind of things. What about I had these gifts? He says, and though I have all faith, what about all the measurement of faith? I have all of it. So much that what? I can remove the mountains. I can tell that mountain be removed like Christ was talking about. And have not charity, even though I have all these beautiful gifts, powerful gifts, if I don't have charity, I am nothing. Okay? He said, don't get caught up and be ignorant of spiritual gifts. Y'all put all this on the spiritual gifts, but you don't have no charity in you. The gifts, they don't mean nothing if you don't have love. Okay? And that's appropriate for even today. Don't matter what your gift is if you don't have love in your heart. If you ain't doing things for the right reason, it doesn't matter. Right? This is, I mean, we can connect even with the commandments, but remember, he's saying, you did this in my name. You did this in my name. He said, depart from me, you worker of iniquity. That's somebody that's lacking the love. Because the commandments is about what? Love. Loving one another. Okay? About loving God, the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Love thy neighbor as thyself. So you want the gift, but you want to have love. That ain't how it works. And that gift is obsolete without love. Okay? Anybody have anything they want to add to verse 1 or 2? Okay. And you can put any gift in this, even if I'm walking on water, I do this. If I don't have charity, it means nothing. Okay. So beloved, like I said, we're going to focus on love, right? I know we hear it in church and everything, but it's true. It is about love. Okay. Some people want these spiritual gifts without love. They're just ignorant of spiritual gifts. But it's our job to show them a better way. All right. Sis, did you have something, Zanza? Thought I seen you go off mute.
I actually did. I think the charity, love, they're not seen as powerful. So no one aspires to have them. And then you see these very gifted individuals who cannot draw anyone because they don't have the fundamentals of love. Like, that is the drawing power. This is how men will know that we are the Most High's disciple, when we have love for one another. It doesn't matter what gifting I have, how prestigious I don't know, the titles like are ridiculous now. But they're doing all of that and forgetting the first works, the first thing, the foundation. And to me, I'm not certain how they get there without love. Like, this is the working power. This is the power behind all the giftings. So, and you see all the time, they just esteem one another and put these people up on pedestals. And my question was always like, does your neighbor know that you Reverend Dr. Apostle, Reverend whatever, the Lord? That's the next title, the Lord. Does your creditor know that you cast out demons and you do all of this stuff? Like, who knows besides those that are in your church circle that, you're the upright, whatever. So I don't think love and charity should be looked down upon. I think they're the most powerful of them all. They are the power behind. I think it gets birthed. The other things get birthed through love.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I say sometimes don't get talked enough. That's the main thing. That's a deception. You're going through all these ties and everything to sometimes deceive from loving someone. Some people feel like they don't have to do the love part because of their gift. Like this was saying. So I get, I he'll do all this stuff. But you're so ignorant to that, brother and sister. So what if you can heal do this? Because they're not thinking about their gifts supposed to be actually helping others. Their gift is for them. That's why I say everybody asks for gifts. Sometimes they're doing it for selfish reasons. Some people want the gift so they can shut somebody else down. To say, I'm holier than you. God is closer to me than he is with you. Some of them want that elevation. I'm the bishop, I'm this, I'm the apostle and everything. So God is like right here. But with you, brother and sister, he's real far. No, you don't understand the gift. Look at what Christ come on the scene. Was he trying to put God so far from everybody else? No. He said, look at me, look what I'm doing. And I do the same thing, have the same relationship with my God. He said, my father and your father, my God and your God. But what was they seeing with Christ's walk? They were seeing his love. He did miracle stuff too, don't get it wrong. But it was his love, his compassion. Some people can do great things, but if they just wicked and evil, so what? And this is why the elect, we have to be sure and know what to look for. Because we see somebody do a miracle, we oh my God, that must be a man of God. That ain't how it goes. Okay, so don't be deceived by just gifts. Okay, the gifts are good. We don't want to downplay it, but love is greater. Okay, the intent behind things is greater. All right. Anybody else want to add anything for verse 1 or 2? All right. Let's go to verse 3 and 4.
Though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burnt and have not charity, it profited me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil.
All right, we're going to take our time. This is a short chapter, so we can take our time. But this is so powerful, beloved. When we talk about charity, we talk about, charity, love, being anonymous. But listen what he's saying in verse 3. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor. Beloved, if somebody bestow all their goods, everything they got to help the needy, wouldn't you think they're showing love? Though I give my body to be burned, I offer my body up. It says, and have not charity, it profited me nothing. There's two things you look at this. You would think if somebody giving all their portion, their goods to feed the poor, man, they must love them. Saying some of them that do that still don't have charity. Some people do certain things for certain reasons. For sure. That's why I say, God judges the intent of the heart. He's looking at that. But some of us looking with these natural eyes, we're looking like, oh man, they got to be good. They're giving all that food to the poor. They're giving all that clothes to the homeless. Man, that got to be a man that got a woman of God. And I don't take it away. Charity's good. We're instructed to help the needy and all those kind of things. But he's saying that people that do that can still lack love. So we got to really put this in the, he's throwing these things out there. Somebody give my body to be burned. They sacrifice their body. You would think, man, that's love. But some people do it and don't have love. Why am I saying this? Because you're going to see these things, beloved. You're going to see congregation church that do a lot of, per se, good. But in the Most High eyes, he can say, still no love there. Right? There's people that do things for all kind of motives. All kind of motives. So this is something we need to be mindful of. Because we're doing that. Do we have charity? Are we doing it for the right reasons? Or are we doing it to be, man, you see what they did? You see that brother? He gave $1 to that homeless person. You see this? And they don't have to be because they care about them. They actually love that individual. Some people trying to be seen. In this day and age, we got the cameras and stuff like that. You'll see people all day. Yeah, I'm trying to help the poor. They showing their whole, and I'm giving them to the poor, right? They doing all that. You think they doing that because they love the poor? No. But this is what you see. Oh, they got the prayer lines, got the $100 prayer line, $20, $10, right? Some people go on that $100 line just to show, look how much I'm giving to the Lord. And guess what? Some of them wicked teachers and leaders, they allow that stuff because they playing right to your wickedness. You want to just show off, so I'm going to give you something to show off, and I'm going to benefit from you showing off. Not doing it for love. So we got to know what love is. Because sometimes just from an action, it can't tell you what the love is. All right? But the intent behind it. So I love that he actually talked about that. Somebody can bestow all their goods, feed the poor, and still not have charity. Somebody can say, shalom, brother, shalom, sis, and not mean you peace. Because that's what shalom and shalom doing, saying peace or peace be unto you. But they can say that and what? Not wish you well. Right? So love is what really gives the power to it. A shalom, or shalom, whatever you use, right? The power is the real belief and faith you have behind it. I want that person to truly have peace. If you don't mean for that person to truly have peace, your shalom, whatever it is, does nothing. Or you just say it in English, peace, whatever. It's the intent behind it, beloved, that makes it charity. It's the spirit behind it. Charity is a spirit. Okay? So if you're not doing it in the right spirit, beloved, it's not charity. Okay? All right. Verse 4, charity suffereth long. So, beloved, we talk about charity, it suffers. Christ, he was going with them disciples and did them, how long shall I suffer you? All right. So you're gonna have to go through it, beloved. There might be people coming in, oh my God, they get on my nerves. Sometimes you gotta suffer it. Right? Some of y'all have to suffer through the teaching. Oh my gosh, Mike was still talking. It's time is going back. Sometimes you gotta suffer. Okay. I try not to kill y'all too much, right? But this is going to be a way where you're going to have to go through certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us talk about it, but we don't want to go through it. We talk about love God and all this stuff being tried and everything, but then we don't want to suffer. They even know that in the world. No, what? No pain, no gain. You ain't going to gain if you don't go through some pain. And we say certain things like, it's weakness leaving the body. This suffering is what? It's that thing that don't have love in it purging out of the body. That's the spirit. That's the light. It's going to push out that darkness. It says, perfect love casteth out fear. So think about when we're being scared and fearful of certain things. It's what we got to get more love to what cast that out. Because light and darkness don't dwell together. Love and fear, love and truth, it don't dwell together. So we understand the spirit of charity, the spirit of love. It's purging out the things. All right? Purging out those things that are selfish. Right? When you selfish, I'm gonna tell me I ain't dealing with this. Because you can't even think about the other person. That's what, not suffering long. I don't want to do this. This don't benefit me. And because it don't benefit me, I'm not going to deal with it or tolerate it. But love will sometimes deal with something even if you don't get a benefit because it prospers or edifies the other individual, what the gifts of the Spirit is for. There's certain things I know some of y'all might know. You're like, oh my God, I know Kai probably, he might get tired of certain things. Some things I talked to him about, we teach about it. He might have heard some things over and over. Oh my God, I already heard this lesson before. I already did this lesson before. But no, he gets joy satisfaction that if somebody needs it, it's good because that's what it's about. There's some lessons we do got to do over. And there's some lessons I do over because I know sometimes we need it. I'm not going to worry about the deep stuff. You need to learn about the simplistic stuff. You need to learn about forgiveness. You need to learn about loving your neighbor. You need to learn about putting God first. That's the things you need to get in your spirit because that's what's going to save you, not about some spiritual knowledge. Just being honest with y'all, beloved. I'm not just saying for y'all, for me as well. Because I was on the chase too. I got to learn all this deep stuff to really get the people they need to know that. No, they don't. Okay? So we will get to those levels as well. But beloved, it's about that charity. One thing I can tell you about, but that's the choice we got to make. Don't be discouraged about, well, I don't see my gift, or I see that person got their gifts prospering. There's a lot of people gifts you're going to see appearing like it's prospering, but it's leading them right to hell because they didn't go to what? This love. Okay? So charity suffereth long and is kind. Don't tell me you got the Spirit of God and you're not kind. Don't tell me, well, I don't got the gift of kindness. No, it ain't no gift. If you got the Spirit of God, you got kindness attached to it. You have long suffering attached to it. And I'm saying that because I heard some stuff like that in church before. Well, they're just not nice because, they don't got that gift of maybe hospitality. They don't got that gift of that. No, they don't got the Spirit of God. And if they don't get the Spirit of God, they're going to bust hell wide open. That's what it is. If you can't come into the presence of the church and say peace or hi or so, that's a problem, beloved. Ain't a problem, is a problem with you. Nobody should be restricting your joy that much. You should be kind. I always talk about that. And I will say right now, I don't think we have that issue as a congregational body. I will actually say it seems like we excel very much with that. Not from what I think, but the testimonies of people that came and been around us. So we do want to keep that. That's the unity of the Spirit. That is not optional. That's required. Okay? So we have to be long-suffering. We got to be kind. Charity envieth not. All right? Envying is what? Another selfish spirit. I hope y'all get it. Charity is about helping the other. The selfish is about you. I want that gift because I want it. It benefits me. It's not even thinking about the other person. Okay? Sometimes we be selfish. If it was up to, we'll grab all the gifts for ourselves, right? We want all the gifts for ourselves. We don't even think about sharing it. Okay? But make sure we're not envying somebody else's gift. Okay? Because you know what happens, beloved? Well, I'll throw it out there. What happens when you envy long enough? I'm putting it as gifts because that's kind of what we're dealing with. What happens, you think, when you start envying somebody's gift long enough? What can happen? What are some things that can happen when you envy long enough?
You become bitter.
I'm bitter. That's huge.
Jealousy.
Jealousy happens. Mm-hmm.
Hate.
Coveting.
You said coveting. Mm-hmm.
I think your heart becomes hard.
Becomes hard. Mm-hmm. People don't realize this, but this is happening. This happens all the time in church, beloved. Somebody sitting back looking, start off with envy, then somehow it sometimes creates into what? I hate that person. I don't like them. They ain't do nothing. Sometimes people are like, man, I didn't do nothing. I know sometimes you don't need a reason. I want you to realize wickedness don't need a reason to hate. I know when you got your right mind, you like it should be a reason. Sometimes it don't need a reason.
And jealousy can turn into having a murderous heart for that person because now you want to harm them.
Yes.
Okay. Now that's why you're going to turn to Leviticus chapter 19 and read verses
Go to it.
15.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why you want me to read it?
Leviticus 19. Oh, yeah, we going to read it. You know, you ain't going to throw a verse out there. We'll go to it and see it. All right. Leviticus 19, let's start at 15.
You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
You got to do things in righteousness and declare.
Verse 16.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to run right down
That's
to
what I
it.
messed up. Said, go verse 16.
Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yahweh.
She would make, okay, you got it. Jealousy will make a person do that. I done seen that in action. So, you got to be very, very careful. And that's for to weed them things out of our heart, because that will really root up an evilness, just like Cain. His brother Abel.
Perfect example. Yep. We've seen this happen, David and Saul as well, right? And this is where this is something we got to make sure we purge ourselves. And like I said, that's why I said I'm going to show you a more excellent way. We'll look at this, and really, we're not presenting the person, you're presenting God. That's the thing we're not seeing. You have a problem with God, because we just read in the last chapter, he gives the gifts severally as he will. So if he gave that sister, let's say the gift of singing, he gave that to her, you have a problem with that. It ain't her. It ain't her issue. It's what? You have a problem with God. Why God gave her that and not me? I want to sing. I want people to be happy when I sing. And you'll sit back there. And you'll start to get what? An evil eye towards your brother and sister. Then you start pondering that thing and think about, well, they think they all that. They probably don't think nothing. They just praising God to the best they ability. But now they think they all that. They think they holier than everybody else. They think they're more special. And you put all this in your head. And lots of times is letting it work. Saying like, yeah, yep, that's true. That's right. And you're coveting. A lot of times you're going to keep doing things. You're going to keep let that thing fester until you, like Robin pointed out, you have that murderous intent. And I want to just be killing, right? But also that I want to take what's theirs. I want to destroy their character. I want to destroy their name. Okay? This is why it's not a love. And if you have these things, verse 17, thou should not hate thy brother in thy heart. You thinking about this, and this is why Christ is coming with it, talking about David, like you committed adultery with the thought. We weren't about the act, it's the thought that was the adultery. That's when it came in there. The thought of hate. Okay? The thought of looking at your brother and sister a certain way, that's the problem. So thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart and thy mind. Thou shalt anywise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon them. You look at them and you start disliking them, you want bad stuff to happen. You hear stuff about them, you don't even find out if it's true or not. You like it because you just want something to be bad. And this is where Satan works on you. And before you know it, you in the bitter darkness. And think about this. And I love Robin put that Cain and Abel. He's like, didn't you know? All you have to do was do good and then you'll be accepted. But you weren't about that gift. You weren't about their offering that I bestowed upon them. But God said, I gave these gifts to all of you. Instead of focusing on what I gave you and excelling in that, you over there trying to tear them down like that will lift you up. And that's what it turned into. People trying to destroy one another. And at the end of the day, how was God getting praise from that? How was he getting the glory? He's not. Because we were being selfish. We want the gift for ourselves, for our glory. And that's probably why he didn't give it to you. Okay? My grandma used to tell me, say, Michael, I thank the Lord I didn't have a voice. Because I probably wouldn't have been here. I'd be going there singing everywhere and anywhere. And I think that stuck to me. I want to sing, but I don't know where that would have led me. And sometimes praying for people that have those gifts, we get envious. All right? Because listen, when people working in their gifts and they excelling and people can see it and view it in those things, guess what? Saying like, oh, I got to destroy that. I got to put that light out. I got to put that spark out. So we supposed to be as a body praying for that person. Lord, protect them because that gift is first, and I know Satan wants to destroy them. But when sometimes Satan's already in midst because he's right in your mind, and you a vessel being used by him, and you don't even know it. Okay? So once again, envy is not, right? So many things we can talk about. We can have a day talk about this, that. You shouldn't be envying, beloved. Shouldn't be coveting, all right? Things that belong to our brothers and sisters. Because it benefits us, beloved. We have a wonderful songstress, right? Somebody that can sing. We should thank the Most High that he brought a songstress in there to sing, right? If we got an instrument, but thank the Most High. If a teacher come in, thank the Most High. We got whatever gift of that we have. And we got some of them even already, right? But we should be thanking the Most High about it. Okay? But a lot of times, this is one of Satan's devices. Put these thoughts in our head. Sometimes we feel like there's only one person that can do it. Well, I'm the teacher, so we don't need another teacher. I just want to do all the teaching and everything. So sometimes you try to destroy the other teacher. Okay? So don't try to destroy it because once again, it's all for the edifying of the church. Somebody come in and that gift resembles you. Listen, all praises. All praises. God get double glory from this gift. Okay? But we should not be destroying each other because of these things. All right. So charity envieth not. All right. So there's no envy in charity. So if you want to know if you showing love, if you have that envy in your heart, you know you got to purge that out. Okay, to have pure charity. Charity vaunteth not itself. Okay, it's not puffed up. Okay, so it's going to have you walking sober-mindedly and humble. Okay, don't have you where I'm the man or I'm the woman because it don't move like that. This is some of the disciples' problem. They were arguing about who's going to be the greatest. When Christ died, they couldn't even listen. They couldn't even strengthen Christ in his need. He had to die for the nation. He had to, and he knew how it was going to play out. They were so busy arguing about who's going to take over next. Who's going to be the greatest? Who's going to call the shots? They couldn't even support their brother, their leader who they claimed they loved. because they were so much into their own selfish desires. Now, see why this is so crazy? See why Paul's expounded on this? Because you don't got love. He said love is greater than you just worry about some gift. For you to be worried about just a title. Some people won't even speak a word unless you give them the right title. Unless you call them by their office or whatever. Just foolishness, beloved. They can't see past their needs. And that's not what love. Love is seeing the other person's needs. I know I might not need this, but they need it. So I'm doing it for them. You want to see if somebody loves you? See if they care about your needs over their own. And this is where love, a beautiful relationship of love. If both people, both parties are thinking about the other person's needs over themselves, think about that healthy competition. I'm trying to outlove you. And that's how it's supposed to be within the congregation. It burns you out when usually one person's doing all the love and the other person is doing all the taking, right? But if we think about we come together and we just think about how we can love and support one another, everybody be on that same mindset, how beautiful it would be. This is why the Most High put laws in there that we can get that. He built a foundational aspect of it. But if we can study and understand it, it's that spirit that will come into us. And we will what? Start being that word. We will be how love looks. They can look at you and see your lifestyle and say, that's what love is. That's the Spirit of God. Because of how you move. This is why, and Sister Angela pointed out, how are you going to identify my disciples? He didn't say by the miracles. He didn't say how they broke down the scripture. No. How they love. How they love is how you're going to identify them. How are they going to know a true church? How's people from this wicked world seeing so much hurt and pain and destruction and, wickedness and guile? How are they going to see that this is what God instructed to be? By how we love one another. All right? I don't care about what you're breaking down and you treat me like crap. I don't care the mysteries you show me, you treat me like crap. I don't care how much healing you're doing if you treat me like crap. Love. It says love covers the multitude of sins. And nobody want to have love. They can show you everything else that ain't covering the multitude of sins. Right? But love will do it. Okay? All right. Sorry, I'm going a little too slow for you. All right. So vaunted not itself is not puffed up. All right. So we should not be walking around puffed up, cocky, and all those kind of things. We want to walk lowly and humbly. All right. So others, so first of all, the Most High get the praise and not us. All right, Brother Kai, 5 and 6.
Doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth.
So once again, it behaves itself. It doth not behave itself unseemly. Okay. So yes, our behavior is reflection. You should be able to see love. Somebody behaving themselves in an unseemly manner, they hating, they got wicked, imaginations about, this person, that person, being busybodies, being talebearers, like since I'm pointing out all those kind of things, that ain't love. It don't act like that. Okay. Seeketh not her own. It don't seek its desire. Okay. Christ came on the scene not seeking to be served, but to what? Serve others. Minister is to what? Serve others. But you see, a lot of times nowadays it's about what? Being served. I'm the minister. I'm the apostle. I'm the bishop. I'm this pastor. And people supposed to serve me. They supposed to do all these things. Supposed to come to me. Supposed to bow. This is kind of the mindset, but that's not what the scriptures teach. The greatest among you shall be what? The greatest servant. The greatest among you should show the most love and distribute the most love. It ain't about how everybody can give that person, but he should be distributing the love. Okay? So if you want to be great in God, man or woman, you want to be great in God. Encourage you to be great in God. But understand, the greater you are, the more servitude and love you're required to give to others. All right? And when it comes on this side, right, when we live on earth this side, sometimes it seems more stressful, right, more painful than the reward. And I say it appears that way because it's not. Because there's a greater reward we should be looking at. It's a greater thing, greater prize that we desire. And this is why we should be doing what we're supposed to be doing. Everybody should be displaying love. That's not even just a leadership thing. That's common. That's everybody. But if we have a people that's worrying about loving one another, like we love the Most High, and we proclaim that we love the Most High, think about how beautiful that is. This is why it says, I think it's Psalms 133, how beautiful when the brethren come together. And they compare it to the anointing off of Aaron's beard, which is one of the most precious anointings and not to even be duplicated. But that unity of spirit and come together, that's love that joins together. Love is what brought you here, right? So he's really driving that point home. I might be going a little over some of it, but just want to really understand charity is very, very important, beloved. All right. Do not behave yourself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked. All right. Why? Because you should be having some patience. Charity suffers long. Okay. So when somebody does things, don't get easily triggered. Don't just respond quickly. All right. Thinketh no evil. Very important. This is what that says. Thinketh no evil. Thinketh no evil. And things, right? Things are going to come in our mind, beloved. It was always taught the bird's going to fly over your head, but don't let it build a nest in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things you can't help yourself from hearing and, thinking certain things. But what you can do is you're not going to build that in your mind. If it's wicked, Lord, throw it out. But I'm telling you, if you let that thought come in and then you start pondering on it, now you're building that nest. And boy, you build that nest, that's when the real problems happen. Okay? So we have to, and this is why we have to keep our mindset on certain things, to think no evil. Because a lot of things we see in TV shows, they put a lot of evil in them. We download a lot of evil in there. We got the spirit working extra hard to shovel it out, beloved. All right? But think about what we putting in our mind. Because love ain't supposed to be thinking evil. Sometimes we only see certain people the way they are because of what? Evil thoughts that have been thrown in there. Right? Oh, don't trust these women. These women all the same. Because what? Now what? I let that thing stay in me. Now what? I see my sister and I'm thinking what? Take it evil. And this is where he talks about in the scriptures, the busybodies and all those things. Now you can't be having that. Because all they're doing is trying to plant seeds. Yeah, I know she seems nice and everything, but did you hear? Did you know this? So I can look at my brother different. I can look at my sister different. And if I look at you differently, what happens? I usually treat you the way I look at you. If I see you as my sister, I'm going to treat you as my sister. If I see you as my mother or my father, I'm going to treat you that way. This is why even my title, I always, sis, mother, whatever, for the women, I'm going to treat you that way. And that's how I see you. The brothers, I gave you those titles because I'm going to treat you that way as well. So psychologically, spiritually, I'm purging it to have my mind that way. So the love can be that way. And sometimes we got to battle even our own self. Sometimes Satan try to get us to downplay our own self so you can hate yourself. Self-hate is real. If I can destroy you before you ever become something, I make you worthy, you're not worthy of nothing, then you will never aspire to be anything. And this is what happened. This is what captivity does. They're taking the special things about you and throwing it somewhere else, whether they claim it for themselves or just try to get rid of it. But God has given us this book, and he has brought the spirit that we can get our minds back to what it's supposed to be. Take that slave mentality out your head. Take that self, you're not worth anything. Take that stuff out of your head and be what God intended you to be. But you got to believe it first. You don't believe you can do these commandments because you don't see yourself as righteous. You don't see yourself as holy. As a man thinketh, so is he. You got to sometimes, I know the church may claim it, you got to claim that. I am a child of God. I'm going to do what he said because that's my father. I'm going to listen to my father. I can tell you about it, but I can't convince you and get you there. Everyone got to make that decision for themselves. I used to have a little thing I used to say to myself, and that one of the lessons I was going to have for the kids. Say your name. I am Michael Farrell. I am a child of God. And as a child of God, because you got to train yourself for that. Why we see our brothers all trying to be the same thing. They trying to be a drug dealer. They trying to be a rapper. They trying to be a basketball player, football player. They got like 3 or 4 avenues. So as children, all they do is put their energy into the things this is all I can be. But teach your sons that they're supposed to be what? The righteous of the Most High. They're supposed to be teachers and preachers of the Most High. Teach your daughters that they are the princes of the Most High God. If you teach them that they're royalty, they'll hopefully walk in royalty. You teach the sons that they're honorable, they'll walk honorable. But we got to convince ourselves first and push this to the next generation. He ain't called you to be anything less than holy, righteous, right? He said, I want you to be kings. I want you to be a royal priesthood, beloved. Not just some, he said the whole nation of them. They supposed to look at all of us and say, oh, this is a nation of righteousness. Just not 1 or 2, everybody, all right? All right, Brother Kai, let's keep going. I'm sorry, did anybody have anything they wanted to add? I'm doing a lot of talking, I know. Anybody anything they wanted to add?
Yes, just want to throw it in there. Just sitting here and just hit me. Wasn't there something in Deuteronomy about that being part of the curse, being like tender or something against each other?
Yes, evil eye against each other.
Yeah. So you think that curse is still existing to this day, and as we are waking up, that I hope that get rooted out of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that only happens when we turn back to him. Absolutely. Because he lifts all the curses from us. When we got into Christ and everything, that blood, it can lift all those curses from us. But some of us are being plagued by that because what? We have not been, enlightened in all those things and turn to that. But it's a natural state. This is why we have to be, this is why love is so important, because sometimes people definitely that's not in it, they're in darkness and sin and all those kind of things. They're attacking, right? They're functioning under their master, what they're doing, right? But we have to be patient. We got to be loving. We got to see their need, even though they don't see their own need. And sometimes we got to go through persecution for their sake. It's not going to be nice and smart, but sometimes we got to go through it. Right? So absolutely. Right? Absolutely. I'm going to show, just in case people don't know, what Sister Robin talking about, because that's definitely important. This is why we got a job to do, beloved, because we got to give our people their minds back, all right? Because they have lost it. Some of it been beaten out of them, sometimes been indoctrinated out of them, all right? But we got to get them back to the Most High so they can do the things they're supposed to be doing, and that's being the light, all right? Let me see exactly what, I know Deuteronomy 28. Wasn't supposed to be evil towards their okay, 54. Brother Kai, let's go to Deuteronomy 28, and we can jump down to verse 54.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Now see this, beloved? Look at the condition of this. Look at he's giving you the most intimate relationships you're supposed to be having. The strongest bonds you have is usually with what? Your children, your brother, wife. He's saying when this curse hit, and he said what? The tender person. The person you thought was kind, and that person. This is how heavy this curse is. This person that's actually, nice and kind, all that stuff, he's going to be what? The very delicate. His eyes going to start to what? His brother. And look at his wife that he had from his youth a certain way. The wife he knows, this ain't somebody he knows, he grew up with her, but he going to look at her a certain way. And his children, he should leave. What do we see brothers doing all the time? Leaving the children. I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't want to be bothered with them. Okay. So this is heavy. You had something, sis? I see you off mute. Okay, makes sense. All right. So this is very, very important, beloved. And read verse 55.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
This was stuff that did happen definitely when we were going through famines and stuff like that with our children. All right. Verse 56.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter.
You see that? So even that woman, look how delicate you were, sisters. Y'all foot, y'all so delicate, so tender. Like y'all foot don't even touch the ground. Almost like it hovering. Okay? But he said, even that woman, that kind, that sweet, this curse can hit them, and they're going to what? They're going to be looking at the husband of their youth, the husband they had for years, and look at them different. Hatred toward their son and their daughter. Okay? And this is something that, think about mothers, right? Great love, great bonds you have. They're saying these things are going to be messed up because of the curses. Okay? So, beloved, once again, to get out of this is getting into this truth. Understand it and being converted fully. We must be born again. Because this is some of the mindset we're born into. When you're born, definitely this nation, everything, we get this. The brothers going hard at their sisters. Sometimes nations don't get a chance. We going so hard at our sisters, sisters going so hard at the brothers, and it's a big war, like a battle of the sexes. And if anybody's supposed to be loving each other naturally, it should be us. But we have this wickedness has put a stain on us, and we don't look at them the same. You see these brothers design every sister in the world but their own. A lot of times it's be self-hate. So now you feel like everybody else got value but the sisters. Because they don't know better. And they need to be taught better. There is no greater price than a Proverb 31 woman. And Israel was supposed to have a plethora. We're supposed to have a nation full of them, right? But we not going to give up on our nation. We're going to get them back on that right track. There's a lot of Proverb 31 women walking. All right? So when we get into this truth, we try to restore our nation. How you restore it? Start off with you first. And then we're going to keep spreading this love. All right? I'm getting there. All right, we see something else. Zechariah 13:6. Let's see what that is.
And one shall
Hold on. I want to make sure. Yeah, we can just go to 6. It's fine.
And one shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thine hands? Then he shall answer, those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends.
These wounds I got in the house of my friends. These wounds you're going to get from those that's close. There's some wounds people get in the congregation. A lot of people got wounded in the church. But beloved, one thing here, we're going to do our best that we don't cause nobody to go astray from wounds here. How are we going to do that? Through the Spirit of God. And I ain't talking about just talking about it. I'm talking about living and holding ourselves to that standard. Everybody holding each other to that standard. You see somebody treating somebody wrong and everything, we bring it to the forefront. We ain't hiding, we ain't covering up wickedness and all that. Bring it to the forefront. If you desire to be here, it's because you desire God. You don't desire all the little distractions, you desire the Most High. And that's what we're going to build this upon, and that's what we're going to live upon. And the Most High is going to bless because our mind is set to do right. All right? So definitely beautiful. Give verse 7 while we're here.
Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith Yahweh of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn my hand upon the little ones.
This is what he does. This is the same tactic, right? You take the shepherd out, usually the sheep will follow, right? So sometimes he goes and attack those leads and everything to mess everything up. That's why he trying to take over. He take over the leaders of the churches and then what? Sprinkle down that bad doctrine so that all the sheep be all messed up. Okay? Save time. Like sometimes I don't want to go through every shepherd. I don't want to go through all the sheep. Let me get the head, tie him up, and then mess everything else up. Okay? This is why I tell you, to pray for the leaders and things of that nature, for those kind of things. Okay? All right. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians 13. All right. Good precepts, beloved. Good precepts. 1 Corinthians 13.
7.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Wait, did we do all right, let me go to 6 real quick. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. How many times we hear something about our brothers and sisters and we don't rejoice about it? Yeah, you ain't rejoice about it, you're probably a hater. Okay. Put it that way. You're a hater. Put it in our terms. All right. If you are happy when you hear something bad about them, or that makes you more excited, you want more when you hear something bad, more than when you hear something good, you got a devil in you. You shouldn't even want to hear something bad about your brothers and sisters. It shouldn't bring you no pleasure. Why? Because that reflects the body. But you can't see that because you selfish. You think it just affects them. No, it affects the body. When we hear something bad about our brothers and sisters, what should you do? You should pray for them. Lord, I don't know what it is, but give them strength. Because I know that ain't my brother. That ain't my sister. That ain't their true intent. That ain't their true heart. Help them. That's why it says those that are spiritual, restore them. Just like you want to be restored in the spirit of meekness. If you may, yes, I say even somebody made a mistake. Somebody made a mistake. You want somebody blasting your mistake? Saying that you this, and this? Or do you want somebody praying for you? Putting a spiritual covering over you. This is all love. This is stuff we were lacking. I know I'm over explaining for some of us, beloved, but this was the problem that was happening. They were loving it when they was hearing something bad about their brothers and sisters. See, yep, I already knew they had a devil in them. Yep, I knew they had a devil in them, right? Well, if he have a devil, or she have a devil in them, don't you think they need some spiritual power to get that thing off of them? If they're being overtaken by sin, like the scriptures talk about, it needs spiritual power to lift that thing off. They don't need the ridicule, the backbiting, and the ostracizing from the people, from their so-called brothers and sisters. They shouldn't be going through that on top of how's that going to help them out? But this is why love covered a multitude of sins. Love is what can get them out. Maybe because maybe I showed a little more love or something. Maybe this would have prevented this. We never think like that. So I'm just making it clear on that one. If you rejoice, it ain't me, the scripture. Rejoice not in iniquity, period. Should not be happy Shouldn't get glory out of it. Only the spirit of Satan gonna get glory and somebody being full of iniquity. But rejoice in the truth. And love, being patient, being forgiving, that's truth. I know somebody, well, I'm rejoicing in the truth. No, forgiveness is truth. I know they did you wrong. I know they hurt you. Right? But where's our forgiveness at? Our compassion at? Okay? Definitely what? If they are brothers and sisters, beloved. Okay? So this is why charity is better than a gift. Because your gift ain't doing this. This is the spirit. Okay? So don't get caught up in hiding behind the gift. Make sure you have the spirit of love in you. All right, Brother Kai, I'm sorry.
7. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away.
So it's going to bear all things. Like I said, it's going to be patient. It can bear things. It's going to be suffering of things. All right. So beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. All right. It can do everything because it's a spirit. And the Most High, it says God is what? Love. So those same attributes and strengths that it has, it comes from our Father. Right. That's why it can do all these things. Verse 8, charity never faileth. All right. It will never, we said never loses power. We're talking about the blood, but charity will never fail, beloved. Okay. So we might think, oh, well, nope, it never fails. It's always going to be this way. So you never have to second guess it. Somebody rejoicing at, in some iniquity, that ain't charity in them. Charity always going to be this way. All right. So it never faileth. It never stops. He said prophecy, that can stop. Tongues, they can cease, they can stop. Knowledge, it can go away. Charity never. Stay with you, be with you all the time. Your gift, you have a gift that comes and go, right? Those that spoke in tongues, they weren't speaking in tongues all day, every day. Those that prophesied, I don't mean they was doing it all day, every day, and you know what I mean? Knowledge. But charity can stay with us. We have to walk in that. We got to be that. Okay? Anybody got anything to add? Any of the verses we went through already? All right, let's keep going. I know I spoke a lot, that's why.
Verse 9. For we know in part, and we prophesied in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
So once again, this is the part where we can link it up right up here, right? I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge through all, right? He's going right here and saying what? We know in part. You don't know everything, all right? And we prophesy in part. You don't have it all, okay? So there's certain things that we are lacking, we're going to lack, okay? But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. Okay. That can go deep. I think I heard about 2 or 3 different breakdowns with that. Okay. Not really bad, but some people talk about the spirit when it comes, and the trueness of it and the fullness of it, those things apart, we will know everything, right? Almost like, we'll see him as he is, those kind of things, so we'll have full clarity. So some people put it as, we know certain things in a certain capacity, but we won't know us in its fullness, right? Love, you can be walking in that, okay? And that's really with the spirit. We have the fullness of it, you'll be walking in that. But the perfect is come, of course, things that's in part goes away, all right? Because it's dealing with perfection, okay? All right, finish it up.
Verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity.
Mhm. Mhm. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child. All right, children are going to do this. They're going to have those qualities, right? But when I became a man, I put childish things away. I'm not talking about toys. I'm talking about little stuff like that. Spiritually, beloved. When you're children, what you can be? You can be somewhat selfish, which I tell the children not to be, right? Mine, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. I want that one. I want this. It's about me, me, me. But when you become a man, what do you got to do, beloved? Learn to share. You learn the world don't revolve just around you. You learn you got to suffer these things, right? You get into the maturity of love and not still being a child, thinking about you. I want this gift because it's going to make me special. I want these superpowers. This is what a lot of childlike thinking was. But you want to, when you become mature, Lord, whatever you're gracious to bestow upon me, let me be worthy, right? Let me be worthy and honorable to magnify it so I know it magnifies you. It's a different understanding of how you go about things. But as a child, you don't understand that. That child mentality, some of us adults have this childlike mentality. It's not always about you. You're not going to always get what you want. I mean, you're never going to get what you want, but you might not get what you want all the time. And you got to be okay with that. They're not doing things. I think it should be like this. All right, so I'm going to be out of here. Childlike. I want a tantrum. Okay? So, beloved, as we become adults, as we become mature in this, okay, we have to put childish things away. Okay? We got to put the things in part away when we become perfect or full or complete. Okay? For we see now through a glass darkly, all right? We don't see things as clear, but then face to face. Then we'll see face to face right there, clearly. Now I know in part. I don't know everything. I know in part. I know the parts I know that the Most High have given and opened up to me. And that goes for us even today. But then shall I know even as also I am known. But then there'll come a time we'll know clearly. Those mysteries, those things we battle with, right? Because they say, Michael, you know this? You'll hear this sometimes. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not sure what that's talking about, right? There's certain things we don't know, right? And some things I just don't know, but other people know, right? We have those things. We'll know certain things in part, okay? But when that time happens, we will get the fullness of things, all right? So don't be discouraged about some things we don't know. Even some things we might not totally agree with everything. There's going to be those kind of discrepancies, beloved, all right? But the one thing you should judge is what? How we love one another, how you're getting treated, because we can control that and we can be in the fullness of that today. Verse 13, and now abideth faith, hope, and charity. Faith is important. Hope is important. And charity. The greatest of these is charity. Okay. So you put a nice little bow on that beautiful gift of chapter 13. The greatest of these is charity. And then when we go to it, I'm probably doing my lesson next week. But next time we go to 1 Corinthians 14, he's going to be building off of that still in chapter 14. Okay. Anybody got anything they want to add to chapter 13, beloved? When we close out. All right. If that'll be all, if we learn